welcome to the C.A.N Report. Mazel tov. I'm Mike Goldstein, stickers of the C.A.N Report, coming at you with another program. I have two special guests that I'm really excited to have from the New England area. I have Lisa Albino. Did I say that correct? Awesome.
You did. You did. One of few.
And Cristina Schoeck. I'm so happy to have you guys here. They run Camp Fully Involved, and they have that at New Hampshire Fire Academy every summer. This is something that's near and dear to my heart. As many people know, I help run the New Hampshire Explorer Academy, and they're doing this. Camp Fully Involved is all with the girls, and we wanted to make sure that we get the word out about the program, what they do, who they are, and how it came to be. Ladies, thank you so much for being on the program tonight.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
My pleasure. This is so much fun. I'm glad to do this. So we'll get started into backgrounds and bios. Lisa, why don't you go ahead?
Oh, boy. So currently I am the fire chief at the Eastham Fire Department on Cape Cod. I have been with the department for 38 years.
Wow.
Rose up through the ranks. I am the first female fire chief.
Wow.
On Cape Cod or within the Barnstable County. Been involved with Camp Fully Involved since it started. Was one of the core cadre, and before Jess got sick, she asked Cristina and I to take over the program as co-directors, and that's how we both became co-directors of Camp Fully Involved.
That's awesome. 38 years. Congratulations.
How you wanted to keep it quick.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We got a lot to cover. So, I mean, I don't want you to shortchange it, obviously, but that's perfect. All right. And Chief Schoeck, please, Cristina.
I am the fire chief of Meriden Fire in Connecticut. I've been on the department for 23 years. I was a volunteer in another department for 5 years before. So I've been in not as many years as Lisa in the fire service. And I heard about Camp Fully Involved through a mutual friend of Jess's and did a cold call and said, this seems like a great program. I would love to be a part of it. She invited me up to be an instructor one year, and I haven't left.
All right. That's awesome. So I will dive right into it. How long has Camp Fully Involved been around?
Since 2007.
Wow.
I believe it was either 7 or 8. I believe it was 2007.
Okay.
Was our first year. We did have to take a couple years off due to lack of attendance, but then COVID hit, and we didn't think that would be a good idea to run during COVID. Mm-hmm. So we have taken a few years off.
Wow. That is since 2007. That's impressive. That's a long run.
It is. Yeah. It's I think a testament to some of our instructors that we have. We have a great core that really puts their heart into it. No one is paid. Everybody volunteers their time. Mm-hmm. It's how we spend our summer vacation. Up at the Fire Academy, teaching young women what the job is all about.
Love it. So to start right from the beginning, Camp Fully Involved, who was the brainchild behind that, and how did it all come to fruition?
So it was Jess Wyman. She was a firefighter with Nashua at the time, with a couple of other friends, Lieutenant Lisa Baldini. She's with Laconia, and Charlene, and I can't remember Charlene's last name. She was a fire investigator out of Nashua also with Jess, and Heidi Foisey she was with the Daniel Webster Council. They're like, hey, we got a great idea, and can we make it happen? And they made it happen.
That's awesome. That's great. I had the pleasure of working with Jess. I was briefly on Nashua Fire as a fire alarm operator, and I was on when she was still an officer, and she was always a pleasure to work for. She was always polite on the phone, always polite on the radio, most stressful situations, but she was just as sweet as she could be. Every time that she needed something, I knew when she called up on the phone, I wasn't going to get yelled at or, any other kind of stressful situations. She was just always cool as a cucumber. And I always appreciated how stoic and how she remained calm in every situation. And she was always just so polite. Like she always said, please and thank you. And you guys are doing a great job. And it was always awesome to see her around. And she just did great work and everyone just loved her. And for the public who don't know who she is, Jess Wyman, as Chief Albino said, she was a firefighter for Nashua Fire. She was lieutenant when she retired. Unfortunately, she did pass away from occupational cancer that she fought for quite some time. And she did a lot of good for a lot of people. And I believe she also, did she get her doctorate?
Yes, she did.
She did, right? So she did, and that was on a cancer study.
I believe so.
What's that?
She was a doctorate of nursing, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
But she did her study.
Yes.
On occupational cancer, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. I believe so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. She did a lot of stuff. She was really impressive. And this year, just this last week, I believe, she was inaugurated into the National Fallen Firefighters Memorial in Maryland. And Nashua Fire's Honor Guard was there. Her husband, Chris Wyman, who also served in the fire service. He was state fire marshal. He also worked for Merrimack Fire as their fire marshal as well. He still teaches for the academy, teaching fire prevention and fire investigation. He still does a lot and still very active. And Chris is definitely one of those people who we all know in New Hampshire as being a pinnacle of helping us out for fire investigations and trying to make things better for all of us. So just a quick brief background for everybody who don't know who Jess Wyman is. You have to have met her to know who she truly was and how much she cared about the future of the fire service, especially for the young women. And that's where you guys obviously come in. Now, how did you meet Jess?
Go ahead, Cristina.
We have a mutual friend, a friend of hers from her younger years that she used to play hockey with. She's one of my cousins. And she said, hey, do you know Jess Wyman from New Hampshire and about the Camp Fully Involved? And I said, no. So she kind of gave me the information. And like I said, I thought this was a wonderful program. They didn't have anything like this when Lisa and I were young from our generation.
No way.
And I just thought this is a great way to introduce the fire service to the future of the fire service, the youth, and also especially young girls who I don't think are always taught all the options that are out there. So like I said, I gave Jess a call. She gave me a chance to come up one summer to be an instructor. And then she invited me back. And I never left.
And my story is kind of the same through a friend that she used to be on the Massachusetts task force with, the FEMA task force. This other firefighter was a firefighter on the Cape, and she's like, hey, why don't you come up and join us for the week? And so blindly I went, and I'm like, let's go, let's get this on. And well, they can't kick me out.
It's addicting. It really is.
It really is.
I never knew it. I was kind of the same way with you guys, where I kind of just fell into it, where I saw a gentleman who was doing the program before I started it. He made a Facebook post, hey, we need instructors. We need help. We're bringing this program back for the Explorer Academy. And I just said, sure, I love teaching. I love working with kids. Let's do it. And I got kids myself, and I never left. And, we're approaching our third year now. And it really, once you have that first year, that first week under your belt, it was like, I'm sure as you guys probably can attest, it was like a rejuvenation. Right.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. Especially if you're feeling down on yourself, your work's getting just too heavy for you. Life is getting too heavy. You spend a week with these kids who just want to absorb all the information and knowledge that you have.
Yep, they are like sponges. They just want to, what is it all about? And that's all they want to do. And it also, for the instructors, because we do have a core, we stay in contact year round, all the time. I think I talk to Cristina probably every 3 or 4 days. There are other instructors that, you know, hey, have you gone through this? Hey, have you? So it's multi-leveled connections, and they're lifelong friendships, and their family. It's the fire service. These are, and for the cadets also, they now have a second family. Even if they decide not to go into the fire service, they bond as a group and they have lifelong friendships out of it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I would say two things. One is, working with the youth is, to see that transformation from not showing if they can do this, if they're capable, and seeing them grow throughout the camp and how more confident they are at the end, and they hold themselves tall and they realize they're stronger and more capable than they realize. And it's very motivating because, after a year of working, and like you said, all of you, it gets down on you, the job is, it weighs heavy on all of us. And then you go look at these youth and see how much they love it. And next thing you know, you remember why you loved the job as much as you did and
Absolutely.
why you got into it. And I used to come back to my department so motivated, so gung-ho, so ready, and just like rejuvenated.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's great to see that. And like you said, Chief Albino, it's the same thing of, even if they don't go to careers, they've had an experience of their lifetime. And they'll remember it always. I mean, I never did the Explorers when I was a kid. Never knew anything about it. Just like you guys said, like it was just something that was foreign to me. And so I didn't know what to expect, but I'd always listen to other people who had been an explorer, went to the Explorer Academy, and they just talked about it like it was just like yesterday. They're 30 years old, but they talk about the program like it just happened. And I never knew what it was like. And then I actually got to be a part of it, and it gets in your system, and you don't want to lose that feeling. And it's a lot of work, but man, it pays off in dividends. And Chief Schoeck, like you said, the fact that they're coming out as different people, and I've seen that firsthand, and that's what keeps me coming back, and loving to see that the confidence that they come in. Man, I've seen so many kids, they're so nervous, they're so scared. And some of them have like a lot of difficulties. A lot of them have some medical issues that they're scared to try because, they might have diabetes, or they might have ADD. They have like a slew of issues, and they're so scared of doing this because they're not sure. They're away from home, all the comforts from home, but man, they walk out completely different. They don't think about the medical issues that they have. They throw those out the door and they just have fun. They go full throttle and they walk out confident. I've had parents say that this is a different kid. At the end of the week, right? They've all the time. My kid is right, completely different. They're responsible. They're polite, or they're. I can see it in their face. I can see it in their eyes. Like you said, Chief Schoeck, like they're walking taller. Like there's something that that just changed in them, and we get to have a part of that. And that's what gets me so amped up for it. It gets me so like I wish it was tomorrow, because I love seeing that. Like it is so much fun to see that change. And as adults who actually care about the youth and care about the future of the fire service, like you guys, to make that change in them, it's something special.
It absolutely is. They just rejuvenate you. It's just their, and plus we all try to, we all work together for a common goal, and that's to, teach them just a little bit about the fire service, give them that little taste, give them that you can do this. Don't say I can't do this. We encourage them to do everything, and we ask them not to say I can't do that. Because we'll work with you to get it that job task done.
Yeah.
And it pays dividends for them and for us.
It does. Well, they're our future. And I don't know. I'd love to know if you have any numbers, or do you know how many people for females that you're now teaching for this program, they've gone on to careers? I know from the Explorer Academy, we have quite a few since we've now brought it back. They've gone on to career services, and so it's a pleasure to see it. So like,
Right.
some people feel that why would I pay money, or why I would donate money for this program, because it doesn't benefit me. But I've seen it. They've come back, and they're
Right.
now full-time career firefighters, or they're even in EMS, or they're doing something as a first responder. So they're paying it back, and it is working. Have you seen a lot of girls in your program come back and start careers?
We have. Go ahead, Cristina.
I don't have an exact number, especially on me right now, but we have seen a lot of young girls join either the volunteer or the career fire service. Some join the military, some join just EMS. So we do have, and then actually we've had some cadets who have moved on, become career, and now they're some of the instructors.
That's great.
They've come back full circle.
That's awesome.
I know prior to COVID, Jess had some records, and I believe it was about 60% of the cadets went into some sort of first responder, whether it be maybe the police or maybe, in the fire service, dispatch, EMS, but it was about 60% were in first responder.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what do you have them do for that week? What is your curriculum?
Oh, go ahead, Cristina.
So day one, we introduce them into their gear and to their air pack. And then we get them into the SCBA maze. And then from there, they start deploying lines. Then we teach them just car fire and room and content fires. We do victim removal. And this, again, especially when you have some of the younger kids, a lot of the instructors have to help them because mannequins definitely are heavy. So we do victim removal. We do truck company ops. So we do forcible entry. We throw ladders. We do vent under search. They do climb the aerial. That's more of a confidence booster for them. Mm-hmm. We do rappelling as an introduction to tech rescue. So they do rappel.
That's great.
And depending the year on how their confidence, that is definitely one of the days where there's a lot of, I'm not sure if I can handle this.
Sure.
But we walk them through. So some years they're able to do pickoffs if we can get all the girls to go through the rappelling. And then we do, they get introduced to forestry fire. And then we do a last day is we put everything together, engine company ops with the truck ops.
Wow, that's great.
And we do introduce them to like fitness in the fire service, nutrition in the fire service. We do give them bits and pieces at night. They are basically from sun up to sundown. We got them either in class, on the drill yard, moving. It's quite a program.
Now, do they stay at the academy? Do they stay in the dorms?
They do.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yep.
And because for the Explorer Academy, we don't have phones for them, so they ditch the phones with the parents. Do you do the same thing?
We do.
We collect the phones,
mm-hmm.
and they're allowed to have their phones back 1 hour a night.
Oh, I like that. That's a good idea.
And they've got to and we tell them and their family when they get dropped off that is an absolute requirement. So they have to hand in their phones. The instructors have them. They let them get them back 1 hour at night after dinner. Then we collect them, and then we usually have our evening class.
That's a good idea. I like that 1 hour.
We let them connect back with their family for the day.
Sure.
Some of the younger cadets kind of need to maybe connect with their parents.
Sure.
It's pretty intensive.
Yeah, it is. I mean, there's no buildup to it, right? You're there as soon as they're dropped off. That's it.
That's it.
You belong to us now, and no TVs, no internet, no none of those comforts that now that they have. And for us being older, we didn't have those comforts at home, and we didn't have the phones in the palm of our hand. We're out doing stuff, so it's definitely a big different world for a whole week of literally sleeping with new people, like being in an environment, being in a firehouse of
Absolutely
of complete strangers and kids that you've never met before. So it can be overwhelming, and I've dealt with that personally with the kids that we have at our program. It's a hard adjustment for the first couple of nights, and then I've had kids that literally sat down with me and bawled their eyes out because they miss mom and dad, or they miss their dog, and they just want to go home.
Yep.
And we do the same thing. Okay, you can call your parents if you really need this. Sometimes they just need to talk. And midweek, again, they're different kids. All of a sudden, they're not missing home. They're having fun. Then they don't want to leave. There's tears at the end of the week because they didn't want to leave. They had so much fun.
They don't want to leave their friends, their new friends that they just met. And I think a lot of it has to do with keeping them busy. Mm-hmm. You keep them busy, and you keep their minds off of what they have going on at home, we can move forward. And it's, towards the end of the week, maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, some of them are like, yeah, I don't care. I don't need to call home. So, but it's quite a transformation.
We do try to create that firehouse lifestyle. They are put into groups, just like this is your crew. And every day we have a different leader. And so everybody has, every day there's a different job for the different crews. So somebody will be responsible for cleaning up the day room, and somebody is responsible, a different crew is responsible for something else. But creating and fostering that crew mentality, we teach them to help each other when one of them is struggling. When one person's failing, the team is failing. When everybody's succeeding, it's because everybody's working together.
Absolutely.
So you create that team atmosphere like a crew, which then transfers over when you do have somebody who's struggling because they miss home. The girls rally around each other and support each other at the emotional level, and then they kind of build each other up, which is, again, that we are a family when you're in the firehouse. So we foster that not just out on the fire ground, on the training grounds, but also in the station when back in the dorm.
That's great. What a great message to relate to them, especially, the teamwork is just so important.
It absolutely is, especially at such a young age, because you need everybody. Firefighting is not, it's not me. It's everybody.
Yeah.
It has to be everybody, because the team will fail if you think you're singular. Mm-hmm. So we really, right from the get-go, they're a team. They're a group. So
that's great. What's the age group for them, for your program?
14 to 20.
Oh, wow. Okay. I didn't know it went up to 20. That's cool.
Yeah. So that's part of the basically the explorers, because we're basically an exploring post. So that's the age range that we choose from. So, we could have a 14-year-old and a 20-year-old in groups when they're on the drill yard. So everybody has to work together.
Yeah. And do you separate them by experience level? So, or like first year, like for us, we do first year. So I need like pretty much 14 to 15. They've never done the program before. They're grouped in the first year. And then obviously second year back, your second years. Do you group them with that? Or it's just all because your groups are smaller? I mean, we have 55 kids. So,
right. We don't have a lot. So we will take cadets and girls that haven't been to the program. So for a while there, we had some repeats, but there was not that many. Mm-hmm. 2, maybe 3 repeats. But we have been lucky enough that we have a constant rotation of new cadets that come in.
That's great. And do they come far and wide? Is it just New Hampshire, or do you got? I mean, you're from the Cape. You're from Connecticut. Like, where are they all coming from?
Internationally. So
Wow.
we have had someone from France,
Oh, wow.
and she is now working in the United States, and she is one of our instructors. We've had someone from Japan,
Wow.
Canada, and most of the, we've hit a lot of the states. But I think I don't know if we have any travelers this year that are coming by plane.
For the furthest one this year so far is Ohio, but we've had Texas, California, but we've
Yeah.
had them all across the country.
Wow, that's impressive. Wow. I mean, just to have different countries come in and participate in
Right.
this program, that's something. How do they hear about it?
Social media. Someone
Yeah.
will girls camp, and we do want to get it out there that it is a week-long camp, but it is not your traditional summer camp.
So that's
Okay.
what it's funny you say that, because it's literally what I say all the time. Summer camp to me is rowing canoes, archery, basket
Right.
weaving, and not to downplay summer camps, but summer camps you're swimming in lakes, rope swings, kumbayas by the fire. That's what I have in my mind. That's summer camp. We are at
Not
the
us.
academy, right? You're the academy. Summer camp, you don't get to actually put out fires. You're not wearing structure fire gear. You're not breathing SCBAs. You're not rappelling off a building. You're not living in dorms like that. You're not marching and doing all and sweating like putting in that work.
Right.
So yeah, it's not summer camp. It is a lifetime experience, and it's the academy experience.
It is, and it's a lot of hard work. It's very physically intensive, and it's a very active camp.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I noticed is that when Camp Fully Involved started, there was essentially 3 camps across the country for young girls. And now we're starting to see more camps across the country that are for girls. So I think in the early years, we did have a lot more girls coming from different states. We're starting to see it more regional because there are more camps across the country. So people, I think, the girls are choosing things that might be closer to home,
Mm-hmm.
which I think it's great because I think that's really reaching out to the youth and saying the fire service is a good possibility for you. And it's a door that you could walk through. This is an option for you. Whereas I think before we weren't always teaching our youth that what we have is options. And especially for young girls, I don't think we're taught at home, hey, this is something you can do.
Yeah.
So I think the more momentum we get across the country of having more camps for girls to go and feel comfortable, because I think a lot of them are very resistant because they're afraid of looking weak or looking like I can't do this.
Sure.
So I think that's why young girls gravitate to those camps. So I think we're starting to see more regional girls. So most of our girls come from Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, Connecticut, New York.
Wow. All right. Got the New England area on the map.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're trying.
That's cool. Yeah. And then it's also catered, correct? Do you have, or do you guys cook, or how do you guys get the food? Because for us, we cater the program. Do you guys just cook meals every night with each other? Because again, the group is smaller, or do you guys have catered meals?
Catered meals at night. We do the breakfast and lunch because we'll do sandwich platters for lunch, and then we go to one of the local stores and get all the breakfast stuff.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
But yeah, catered dinners at that point by 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Yeah, this kid ain't cooking.
Yeah, especially after
I'm just
a long
as tired
day.
as they are.
Absolutely. That makes sense. And then do you have field trips as well? Do you guys go anywhere, or is it just you guys just focusing on everything at the academy drill yard, or do you go anywhere to show them anything about the state of New Hampshire, or anything else that is of importance?
So last year the only thing that we did do with them, that we did take them off campus, they went over to the Concord burn building. So we did take them over there to experience that. And they went over when we couldn't be on the drill yard because it was too hot. They did go over to the 911 service to see what that was about.
Oh, nice.
Till we had the temperature. But as far as going off campus, not really. We try to do everything there. I think that's it, right, Cristina? We didn't really.
Yeah, no, in the early years, we used to go to Nashua's burn building. And then last year, Concord invited us to theirs, and they provided instructors and got involved with us as well.
Oh, that's great. I love it when other people get involved. I think, as you said, like social media plays a big part in it. And I noticed after the first year of us doing it, it just really gained a lot of momentum on social media, the pictures, and just watching all the kids have fun and the adults having fun. And the second year, like a lot of people were coming up to me like, how do I help? What can I do? Like, I want to be a part of this. And yeah, and it's really cool. So for this year, the same thing. We just had a lot of people reach out and really want to help the future and want to feel the same feeling that we have of walking away that week and we're walking taller and we're proud again. And I've had a lot of adults come up when they've helped out and said, this is really special. I feel better. It's amazing how much it does make you feel. And it wasn't just me feeling it. The fact that all the other people who worked so hard for the week felt that, but all the other volunteers that came in, we were just 1 day or 3 days, they definitely felt it. And it's cool to see that from other people, complete strangers who've never done this before. And they walk out from that week and they go, that was one of the best experiences I've had in my life.
Yeah. And the commitment from the instructors, they are very giving of their time because they feel that it is a very important program. And it's amazing the core that we have, because it's not just female instructors. We do have male instructors also. So it's that commitment from them that they're there and willing to do this and basically just give these kids a great experience and teach them and just teach them about their craft. It's incredible to watch.
The instructors, obviously, we all volunteer our time. There's a small cadre that we are there all week long.
Yeah.
But we do have a lot of area instructors that come in, so maybe they can volunteer 1 day or 2 or 3. So whether they come from Concord or whether they come from, whatever area fire department. So some of them just like, hey, I'll get off shift on Tuesday. I can go there for Tuesday. So they work 24 hours on Monday, but they're there on Tuesday. So sometimes they don't even go home. They go straight there.
Yeah. That's impressive. I've seen that and the same thing with our program. That's what I love about both of our programs are so much alike. We have the same atmosphere. We have the same standards. And literally the same people who volunteer are literally doing the same thing. Like I'll come in after my 24 or even a 48, I'll help out and they stay there and they don't even go home. They don't feel tired anymore. And they're doing so much work. And it is. And then for people who don't know, this is very intense. This is very, very involved as people who are putting this program together. It's not just, hey, okay, we're going to open up our doors and, in June or August and there you go. It's like, it's a year of planning. It's getting funding. It's getting the menu together. Who's going to stay at the dorms? Who's going to teach this part? Who's going to teach that part? What do we do if it's too hot? Like you said, and now we got to come up with a contingency plan. There's a lot involved in that. And speaking of, for fundraising, how do you guys generate your funds for that?
So it's a $400 fee for the week, which actually isn't a lot when you think of summer camps nowadays. And then we actually have a good amount of people who donate. Some of the firefighters associations, some of the chiefs associations have made donations, and then a couple of area companies have made donations. And that actually really helps because we don't want to turn anybody away.
Mhm.
We do have some scholarships. So if there's a cadet that, reaches out and they have a need, because we have those donations, we could actually sponsor cadets to come in.
That's awesome. And I was just about to ask that if you had a scholarship program, because that's fantastic. Because I'm the same way. I'm not turning any kid away, and we were fortunate enough to get donations for the same purpose, that no kid will be turned away. I couldn't do that. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night telling one kid, because they can't afford it, I'm sorry, you can't come this year. That's just a horrible thing. So that's not what the fire service is about. We help others, and that's what you're doing. I love that. That's great.
And we look at our traveling ones, the ones that maybe have to fly. So if they have to burden the cost of an airline ticket, we're going to try and give them a scholarship for their tuition.
That's awesome.
Because that's a big burden. If there's someone that does want to come and it's going to cost them a lot for their airfare, we will make every effort to help them.
What if they don't have gear?
Oh, so that's a good one, because we have partnered with Globe and Bergeron Protective Equipment.
All right.
Globe, we have a supply of fire gear at the academy. Nice. That's just camp fully involved.
Nice.
So yeah, those are the donations that have helped. So and Globe, they send people over from the factory and sales on usually Thursday when we're doing auto extrication, and they come over and see the cadets because they're a huge sponsor of Camp Fully Involved.
That's awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
I actually have a story you asked me about. We were talking about cadets and traveling, and sometimes they just, they don't always have the funds for camp. So we had this one cadet from Texas who, she worked her part-time job, so she paid for her own airfare and she paid for the tuition. But at graduation, she wasn't going to have family there because they couldn't come. And she was kind of sad towards the end of the week because everybody was talking about, oh, my parents are coming, or if they're cadets from a fire department locally, sometimes the Explorer person or sometimes the fire department would send people. So they have this support, and she recognized that she was going to be by herself. So the other girls in her crew came up to us and said, hey, she's feeling sad because, and we don't know what to do, how to help her. So all the instructors, this totally broke our heart, and we couldn't watch this happen. So between all the instructors, everybody chipped in a few dollars, and next thing you know, we're on the phone with her mother and her brother, and we flew out the brother.
Wow.
To camp. She had no idea until she was there at graduation on the last day. She turned around and she saw her brother in the audience.
Wow. That is so special. That's what it's about right there. Giving it back.
Yep.
Holy cow.
Yep.
What a great story.
It was like when we sat down as a group for instructors, we're like, how can we not do this?
Yeah.
And it was like, let's see if we can make it work. And it did. It did. It's amazing how it worked.
Wow. That is what a great example of just, making a difference in people's lives, and just that's about the mission. It's not about yourselves. That's exactly what it is. And that's something that she'll never forget ever.
Yeah.
She'll be 80 years old. And I guarantee she'll probably talk about Camp Fully Involved and how the sisters and brothers kicked in and helped to get her family there to watch her graduate. Yeah. That is so cool. Now, when you talk about the graduation, what is that involved? What is the graduation? What are they getting from that?
So graduation is a ceremony. So at the end of the last day, which is the accumulation of, we put together engine company and truck company ops. I mean, run through several evolutions. After they clean up, we have a small ceremony at the auditorium at the academy. We have family and friends. We have a small presentation of a video and pictures of everything that the girls have done. The girls all vote for 2 or 3 cadets to come up and say a 5 or 6 minutes of a quick story of their experience and share their experience with the audience and the family and friends. And then we actually, when they graduate, they come up one by one. We give them their certificate of completion, and we give them a couple of memorabilias, and we actually give them, well, we used to give them a CD. Now we actually give them USBs.
How
I think we
technology
have
has
like
changed.
1,500 pictures that we've taken over the week.
Yeah.
And they take that home.
That's so cool. Well, actually now USBs are kind of going the way of the dodos too, right? Like now you just got to give them a QR code or some kind of hyperlink and they can just put that on their phone and just scan through pictures and save it on their phone.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, that's what we're going to have to start doing.
Yep. Yep. You need to just get a link and just send it. You just send it to them. You literally just text everybody in the group and or email. And that way everybody has all the pictures. Because man, they'll lose them. And like you said, first it was CDs. We did the same thing, CDs, then thumb drives. And like, well, this year we're not even going to do that. I think we're just going to do a hyperlink so the parents can get them like that. And they can just, hold it down and save it on their phone and share it and TikTok
about that. I'm going to call you later about that.
You got it. My brain's always thinking.
Some older people here. Technology is not
Lisa.
my best.
Yeah, I've been pretty blessed with our program. We have a good staff. I have one guy on there. He's very technical savvy. So we've been brainstorming about what we're going to do and how we're going to get them pictures and get that available to them. And honestly, like cost too, like it's just you don't have to worry about that piece of plastic. You have to pay for all the USBs or thumb drives. So just a hyperlink and there you go. You don't even have to pay for that. Question for you, since we're talking about ideas and for everybody else too, laundry was a big deal for me. How do you guys deal with laundry?
So we do laundry on, what is it, Wednesday or Thursday. They're allowed to do their camp shirts, and if we absolutely need to, they can do some pants.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of, we're a much smaller group.
Mm-hmm.
But we do give them a packing list and what they should bring, and we make sure that they have enough pants, and the appropriate clothing. So we do give them they get 4 t-shirts from us.
Oh, that's good. 4 t-shirts. That's nice.
Yeah.
That's a good supply. We've when the first year we brought it back, we kind of overlooked the whole laundry deal because the facility, the dorms, they have laundry, they have they have that you can wash your clothes. I'm having a brain fart, and but they're not industrial. They're literally like your typical residential washing machine and dryer, and trying to do clothes for 55 plus kids. It wasn't working. I was up till 3 a.m. We're washing and drying these clothes so they could have, because it was smelling in there. It was a lot of sweat and a lot of nastiness. So we were up late. So we thought we had industrial washing machines, and it turns out, nope, we don't. And then one was broken. So we're like, man, what are we going to do? So next year, the second year we asked somebody to do off-site laundry facilities. We reached out to a laundry service, and we load up a pickup truck, throw the clothes, and we all gave them mesh bags, laundry bags. We threw them in the back of a pickup truck, brought them to the laundry facility. They washed them. It would just be like for maybe 10 hours, 12 hours. They take care of it. They don't fold it, but they throw it back in the bags. We bring it back, and the clothes are theirs. So it was a huge help. It was an added cost, but they gave us a little bit of a discount. But it did help to facilitate getting them clean clothes quickly, and without having to have a lot of manpower to wash all these clothes. And because we were eating up a lot of time, like I was doing it, like I needed to be out in the drill yard helping facilitate things in the drill yard, but I'm literally helping trying to get laundry done. So now we've eliminated the issue. We just throw the clothes in the back of a pickup truck. Off they go, and they get it done for us.
So we make them have enough clothes for the week.
Yeah.
Like I said, we'll wash maybe a pair of jeans, so that they have pair of jeans for graduation day and a couple of clean shirts, but they should have enough clothes to last a week.
They should.
They should.
They should.
Yeah. What I think is interesting for us instructors is on the last day, they all go home. Now, if they have their own gear because they are an explorer in some department, that's yours. But if you use our gear as the instructors, that Friday night, throughout the night and into Saturday, we're washing that gear in the extractors, and we're setting our phones for the alarms and like, oh, time to take it out of the extractor and
Yeah.
put it in the dryer, and then we just have to do load after load to wash the gear because we have to make sure it's completely dry before we pack them up.
Yeah. That is very, very intense intensive of having to deal with that. Again, that's a lot of time that somebody's got to do that, like 2 to 4 people having to stand by and take care of all that cleaning. With the gear, do you inspect any of their gear? Because when anybody's bringing their gear in, because I've noticed, especially for explorers, they're getting hand-me-down gear. And some of that gear is pretty well used, or it doesn't fit them correctly. And, their masks don't fit right, or they don't have masks, or, the gear is, it's got holes in it. They're using helmets that don't have the proper protection inside. Do you guys do any inspections of gear and
We
make
do.
sure that yeah,
We do, and we make sure that all of our gear is compliant.
that's good.
That was a hard. We will have compliant gear from Jess. Jess ingrained that in our heads that these cadets will have compliant gear. If God forbid something ever happened,
Yeah.
we will have compliant gear.
I like that.
Yeah, we will inspect it. And make sure it's in date. We do have a lot, there are a lot of cadets that will, gloves, hoods, things like that we will get for them, because their hands are so small. And then when you think you've got the right size glove, they have a bigger hand than you believe they have, you think.
Yep.
So, but yeah, no, we do make sure that that's one of the first things they do is if you come in with your own gear. They can't come in with their own SCBA, but they will. If they do come in with gear, we will make sure it's compliant.
Interesting.
And that's actually one of the things that we've been very grateful for sponsors like Globe, who periodically will make another small donation of gear because they want to make sure that we have sizes that fit, especially the younger cadets.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it's great when you have companies like that, and definitely a shout out to Bergeron, to Globe, and I give a shout out because they do the same thing with us. They don't issue gear, but they helped the cost of shirts. They helped out tremendously to give the cadets uniforms. So the Bergeron's kicked in and actually helped out with that. So, and again with Globe, Bergeron, Fire Tech and Safety, those for me are big companies actually, and they're a lot of New Hampshire based or New England based companies that are helping our program to make it good. They understand that this is a huge help to us, and that we're giving it back to them, and they're giving it back to us.
Right.
And it's cool to see that happen where it's not just corporation suits. These are actually guys and girls that actually care about our program, care about our state, and help to kick that in. I love it.
So one of the cadets that we had actually works for Globe.
Oh, nice.
She came out when they came in to do their little this is who we are, and we brought back one of our cadets.
That's great.
Sewer for Globe.
That's awesome.
Another one of our I want to say not necessarily sponsor, but one of the other companies that work with us, Firematic, comes the day that we do extrication, and they come with equipment, several sets of equipment, so that we can rip apart the cars. We have several cars, one for each group, and they come and they do a basic demo, and then then we work with them between Firematic and the instructors. We work with the girls during extrication, but they come in with their tools, several sets of tools, that we can use.
That's great. Yeah, they did the same thing for the Explorer Academy, and I thought that was fantastic. And it's cool because they love it. They're having fun too. And I think that's, again, the biggest part is they're coming in and they're donating the equipment, but they're having fun just watching everybody enjoy what they sell for this equipment. And it's not even just they're not selling anything to us. They're just letting us use the equipment so the girls can actually enjoy it.
They do. And the cadets really enjoy it, but the instructors also enjoy it because now we're seeing some tricks of the trade that maybe we haven't seen.
Mm-hmm.
And also now with Cristina and I being chiefs, it gives us the ability to basically demo some equipment.
Yep.
So
yeah, it's great. It's a double-edged sword. It pays for on both sides, and
absolutely.
And yeah, I do. I think it's great. Everybody kicking in, and that's what's all about. And I think it's great too that I think I always forget to really give a big shout out to the New Hampshire Fire Academy for opening up their doors.
Absolutely.
And they don't. I don't want to speak for you, but for us, they don't charge us a fee to use the drill yard and to use the dorms, and that's huge. Like to have all those kids and have all those adults there for the full week of using the drill yard and the equipment, and they just let us have full reign for the most part, as long as we don't damage anything and it cause a mess. But and that's what's great too, though, is we're teaching those kids to be respectful of the academy itself. Like, these are our hosts. Treat you like we're going to treat our fire station with pride and respect.
Right.
This is our firehouse for the week, so treat it with respect. You're going to clean the bathrooms. You're going to clean the kitchen. You're going to clean the fire station. And
you're going to polish the brass.
Yeah.
You're going to leave it a better place than we came.
Man, the polishing of the brass, which is we did that. I think it was the first or second year, and it was so messy. We actually had to tell them to stop because it was getting all over the place. They had all good intentions. It was sweet, but the brass polish was just, it's kind of liquidy, so it was just falling on the floor and it was staining the carpet.
They do all the brass.
That's awesome. That's so great. Now, do you do any marching with them? Like for us, we do try to do some marching skills, and sometimes we'll bring an honor guard in to help out so they can learn from people who actually do it. Is there any other kind of like fun things that you do? I mean, it's all fun, but like, do you do any kind of like team building exercises, like a muster or anything else that you do on the side of that?
Not really.
No.
So we do keep them in groups. We do go across the parking lot as a group. But as far as marching, we don't, just because we want them on the drill yard.
Yeah.
Doing all sorts of different stuff. So
well, the things that I've noticed is that we always give them feedback forms, or like we want them to write to us and let us know. And some of those things that we got back was like they wanted to have more downtime. Like, our schedule is so jam packed. So, and I feel bad for them because, like, I'm the drill master. So I'm like, all right, you finished eating, good. Now get up and go out here. And like, we have to line them up and file them out because it's a herding cats. It's herding turtles, so we're trying to move them as fast as they can out the drill yard. I feel bad. Like, they're still trying to digest their food, but I need you out there so you can get these reps in. You're going to do, like you guys do. We're doing, hose advancements. You're throwing ladders. I don't have any time to socialize in the kitchen anymore. I need you out in the drill yard to actually get these reps in. And it's sometimes that schedule can be really intense. So we try to, we've noticed we want to be able to have that team building environment as well. So in the evening, we want them to relax and, whether it's like playing board games with each other, or they want to play kickball in the parking lot, or you will have them draw some, like for me, one of the things I really liked was at the beginning of the week, when they got all into their dorms and everything was situated to break the ice. I sat them in one of the classrooms, got a bunch of poster board and crayons and markers, and I all wanted them to come up with for each roommate to come up with a sign for their door. And then they put that on their door, and then we will vote on it, who has the funniest or who has the most colorful, or, they can all vote on which one they think is the best. So there was that team building environment to break the ice for them to all get to know each other. and then they can all see their artwork, and then we all. It also helps us, and we know who is in each dorm, but we don't have to keep guessing.
So
Right.
we do something similar. Where first day they get a like a flag, and it's kind of like a canvas type, and they in their group have to create a group flag, and they have to be something representing each person. So whether it be a sport or whatever, you have to represent yourself visually on that flag, and you have to carry that flag with you throughout the week as a group. So somebody carries the flag when we're lining up to go from the dorm to the drill yard. We have to carry the flag, and the instructors do a vote. It's very similar, and we choose our favorite flags, and we make the announcement on graduation.
I love that. That's a great idea. I like the flag thing. That's very cool. And do they get to keep the flags at the end of the week, or do you guys like hold on to them?
No, they get to keep them.
That's great. I love that. So let's see. You've got a week full of fun for the girls, 14 to 20 years old.
Yep.
You have instructors from all over that are helping out. Do you bring anybody in special? Do you do any like guest instructors or guest speakers for that week?
We do. There's a few topics. Cristina actually does a cancer in the fire service.
Oh, good.
Talk with them. Deb Pendergast will come in and do some behavioral health. But other than that, for the first, who else? I'm trying to think.
Scotty Merrill comes in and teaches them about CPAT.
Oh, awesome.
At night.
Rich Meyer comes in and does physical fitness and nutrition. Who else have we?
I think that's it, because we usually have them on the drill yard.
Yeah.
The first couple nights.
Yeah. That's great. I love that. Those are great. Like Deb does the mental health block for us as well, and that is so well received. And it's the way she delivers it. They really enjoy it. They have a lot of fun. They walk away with some really good knowledge and some helpful tools to deal with some issues or personal problems that they might have. And I love the feedback I get from that. And she's so helpful with that, and she just loves doing it. She's great.
Yeah, she is.
Great. So talk again about the program. It's 14 to 20 years old. And when is it again?
It starts July 27th. It runs from July 27th through August 3rd.
July 27th through August 3rd. $400. And when does registration end?
May 15th.
May 15th. All right. So I'm going to make sure I get this out as soon as possible so we can that people can know that May 15th is the cutoff date for that. And if they have any financial hardships, you do have a scholarship in place.
Yep.
Yes.
Beautiful. Awesome.
The scholarship application is right online on the website.
What is the website?
campfullyinvolved.com.
Can't get any easier than that, right?
Yeah, it doesn't get any easier than that.
That's great. And Jess Wyman, it's such a great way to keep her memory going, and for everything that she's done in the fire service, and for all of us. And are you guys doing tie-dye t-shirts for Camp Fully Involved? I know you have bright greens.
So we haven't done it we do the lime green for the cadets, but the instructors will do probably tie-dye again on Wednesday for Wyman Wednesday.
Love it. Wyman Wednesday.
Yep.
That is fantastic.
Yep.
Great. Well, thank you ladies so much for being on the C.A.N Report, and thank you so much for talking about the Camp Fully Involved. It's you guys are doing great things. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity. This has been awesome.
Yeah, I'm so happy we get something together. I'm happy to get the word out for you guys. Thank you to New Hampshire Fire Academy for hosting both of our events. The New Hampshire Fire Explorer Academy is June 21st through June 28th. Applications for us have closed, but we'll still be live streaming a lot of stuff. And I would love for you guys to, if you're available, to come up and see what we're doing, because you know what, we haven't officially met. I don't think you guys have been to ours, so I would love to have you guys come up so we can exchange ideas, see what we have going on, and be able to work together to make both of our programs succeed.
And you're more than welcome to come join us.
I love that. I would love to be able to join you guys. That'd be a lot of fun. I love doing that stuff.
Yep.
Great.
Awesome.
Wonderful. So I'll get this out for you guys. And thank you so much. All of you guys, thank you so much for tuning in to C.A.N Report. I also like to leave this too, of most of my programs, is I also like to make sure for mental health, you're not alone. I want you guys to know that there's other ways to deal with your problems. Next Rung, I always support them. They do great things for all of us. If you need help, if you need someone to talk to, you can reach out to Next Rung. Blake Stennett, Charlie Brown, and their team are doing great things for all of us. You might have a problem. Don't make it a permanent solution. There's ways to deal with these. We're losing too many brothers and sisters to suicide, mental health. It's May. It's Firefighter Mental Health Awareness. So if you need help, you can reach out to me. I'd be glad to point you in the right direction to Next Rung or any other avenues that you might need. So please don't make a mistake by ending your life. You're too far important for all of us. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to Chief Albino. Thank you to Chief Schoeck, representing Connecticut, representing Cape Cod, representing Camp Fully Involved. Love it. Thank you all so much. Mazel tov.